For 10 years, Sarah believed her money was safe. The number never went down. It barely moved. Everything looked fine. But in reality, nearly 1/3 of her money quietly disappeared. No crash, no scam, no bad investment, just time. And here's the part most people don't realize. The same thing is probably happening to your money right now, even if your balance looks normal. This is the story of how doing the safe thing slowly destroyed Sarah's money, and how the same invisible force is draining yours. Sarah's story. In 2014, when Sarah graduated from college, her grandfather gave her a gift she would never forget. It was $10,000, more money than she had ever held at one time. Along with the gift came simple advice: put it somewhere safe, don't gamble it in the stock market, don't take risks, and save it for emergencies or a future down payment. Sarah followed that advice perfectly. She opened a savings account at her local bank, the same bank her family had trusted for decades, and deposited the full $10,000. Every few months, she checked the balance. It grew very slowly, only a few dollars at a time. The account paid only 0.06% interest per year, which meant about $6 annually. But Sarah wasn't worried. The money felt safe, and the number never went down. And that's what made it dangerous. Because what looks safe on paper can quietly become one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. For 10 years, she felt like she was doing everything right. Her grandfather's gift sat untouched, waiting. The wake-up moment. In 2024, when Sarah decided it was time to buy a used car, she went to a dealership and found a reliable Honda Civic. The price was $22,000. 10 years earlier, that same car, same model, same condition, same mileage, would have cost around $14,000. Sarah checked her savings account. The balance was $10,063. 10 full years of interest had added only $63. Suddenly, the math didn't work anymore. The money that could have almost covered the car in 2014 now fell $12,000 short. Her money had not grown, the world around it had. Standing in the dealership, Sarah realized something that made her stomach drop. Her money had not been sitting safely, it had been shrinking. The number stayed almost the same, but what that money could actually buy had collapsed by nearly 30%. Her safe money wasn't safe, it was melting quietly, and she never saw it happening. Stakes re-raised. And if you think Sarah's case is bad, what comes next explains why millions of people are losing far more than they realize without ever seeing a single red number. My name is Daniel, and I spend far too much time thinking about why the place that feels safest to store your money is often one of the most dangerous. If you've had money sitting in a savings account for years, if you feel comforted by a balance that never goes down, and if you believe not investing is the cautious choice, this applies to you. What I'm about to show you is how inflation silently steals your wealth, how banks profit from your caution, and why your savings may already be disappearing, even if the number looks fine. This is the story of how doing the safe thing slowly destroyed Sarah's money, and how the same invisible force is draining yours. The real truth about money. A dollar is not a unit of value. It is a unit of purchasing power, and purchasing power is constantly eroding. Inflation doesn't announce itself or send alerts. It simply makes everything more expensive over time. Most people focus on nominal value, the number they see in their account. Sarah saw $10,063. That felt stable and safe. But nominal value is an illusion. What truly matters is real value, what your money can actually buy in the real world. Between 2014 and 2024, cumulative inflation in the United States was approximately 31%, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data. This is official U.S. government data. That means something that cost $100 in 2014 cost about $131 in 2024. Another way to see it is this. $1 in 2024 had the buying power of about 76 cents from 2014. So Sarah's $10,000 was no longer worth $10,000 in real terms. In 2014 purchasing power, it was closer to $7,600. She lost about $2,400, not from bad investing and not from mistakes, but from doing nothing. Quick gut check. How long has your money been sitting in savings right now? And if you've had money sitting in savings since 2020, 2018, or 2014, there's a real chance thousands of dollars of purchasing power are already gone, even if your balance looks fine. Savings accounts versus reality, with a contrarian shock line. The savings account didn't protect her, it just made the loss invisible. Inflation was eating her money the entire time. The average U.S. savings account pays around 0.4% interest, while inflation has been running between 3 and 7%. In real terms, a savings account is closer to a slow-motion fee than a place to grow money. That gap is your silent loss. Meanwhile, the bank is not letting your money sit idle. They lend it out for mortgages, business loans, and credit cards. Banks typically earn around a 3% net interest margin. On Sarah's $10,000, the bank earned about $300 per year. She earned about $6. Over 10 years, the bank made around $3,000, while Sarah lost about $2,400 in real value. The psychology trap. Most people think the worst risk is seeing their balance go down. It's not. The real danger is watching your balance stay the same while your purchasing power disappears. One loss is visible, the other is silent. And silence is what keeps people stuck for decades. High-yield savings accounts. High-yield savings accounts paying 4 to 5% are temporary. When rates fall, and historically they always do, those accounts drop back into negative real returns. Even at high rates, savings accounts still underperform long-term investments. An index fund earning about 8% real every year can double purchasing power every 9 years. A savings account at 1.5% real takes about 48 years. Same money, same effort, completely different outcomes. On screen, this looks like two lines slowly separating. In real life, that gap becomes your future lifestyle. Over 20 years, $100,000 at 8% real becomes about $466,000, while the same money at 1.5% real becomes about $135,000. That's a $331,000 gap. Same starting money, completely different futures. Future shock scenario. If Sarah keeps doing this for another 20 years with the same safe savings strategy, that same pattern could erase the equivalent of $50,000 to $100,000 of purchasing power without her ever seeing a single negative number. No crash, no warning, just quiet erosion. Mini cliffhanger. In a moment, I'll show you the simple framework that protects your short-term safety without sacrificing your long-term future. But first, there's one mistake almost everyone makes. They confuse feeling safe with actually being safe. Is a tool, not a destination. It's for emergencies, short-term goals, and psychological stability. Beyond that, cash is a depreciating asset. 6 months of expenses is your emergency fund. Anything beyond that should be working. Invest excess cash in low-cost, diversified index funds. Move emergency cash to high-yield savings. Automate investing so cash doesn't pile up and lose value. Put this on screen. Cash for safety, investments for growth. Strong closing. Keeping excess cash is not avoiding risk. It is choosing a guaranteed, invisible loss. Historically, long-term U.S. inflation has averaged around 3% per year. At that rate, purchasing power is cut in half roughly every 24 years. That's the difference between erosion and multiplication. This is why two people with similar incomes end up in completely different financial realities. One lets inflation quietly shrink their money. The other lets compounding quietly grow it. When you keep excess cash in savings, you are not being conservative, you are locking in a slow, predictable decline. Inflation only moves in one direction. It never gives purchasing power back, ever. You're not protecting your money, you're hiding it in a room that slowly gets warmer and wondering why the ice keeps melting. The savings account illusion works because it makes losses invisible. The only escape is to stop focusing on the balance and start focusing on what that balance can actually buy, today, next year, and 10 years from now.
If you want to stop making invisible money mistakes like this, subscribe. I break them down here every week so you can stop losing money without realizing it.